You're tuning into the Latino Feels podcast with Daniel and the one and only Tiny. That's me.
Yo, did we figure out a name though?
We did it! Beep, 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 beep.
Drum roll.
Welcome to the Latin Feels podcast.
What up? What up?
And it's us, Latinos, feeling shit.
Hablando shit.
Hablando shit, man.
How do you guys feel about that?
I think they're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys like the nombre? What were some of the other things we were thinking about?
Tiny brown wheels. Hold on, I got some here.
The other one was wheels and Latinx feels. I think was
yeah, it was comedy on wheels and Latin feels.
we were like, that's dope, but too long.
Too long.
Just a little.
Tiny in the wheels. There was also, what else did we have? Well, that was it. The tiny brown llantas.
Yeah, we were. It was funny. We were having a discussion about the name, and then we were like, but like if we put llantas or the tiny, or like we had a few other like where we were talking about like him and her, and then we were like, I was like, ¿Y si uno de nosotros nos morimos?
Nos morimos.
I was like, what if something happens to one of us? Then we can't like just continue the podcast. You know?
I think he's just gonna try to fire me. Let's be honest with you.
I'm gonna
he's over here.
Use your clout and just be like, okay.
Bitch.
Nah. It's like you were saying earlier that you have a good feeling about it. I do too. Like I feel like there's still like a space for creative Latinos. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just getting started when it comes to like getting in like media and that stuff. So I feel like it's the right time. You know.
This is the perfect time. If not now, not ever. So let's do it. Aparte de eso, I'm starting the Instagram. So follow us on Instagram. Is it the?
No, it was
just Latin Feels Pod.
Yeah, Latino Feels Pod.
Latino Feels Pod. Thank you.
Ooh,
he's fancy.
The government pays for it. EBT, baby.
Hey. Love that Fiji EBT.
Yeah, so we're still kind of like figuring out what's going to be our format and stuff. So for today, we kind of like wrote down a couple of questions for each other, a few topics we could get into just to, just so you guys
get a feel.
Yeah, just so you guys can kind of like get to know us a little better.
A Latino feel.
Hey, it starts Should we go back and forth? You put out a few questions and I put out a few questions. So like start with one of your questions.
Yeah. A ver. So one of my questions for Daniel. Do we have to always present ourselves? Is Daniel and Tiny?
I think they'll figure
it out. Yeah. Okay.
Well, in case y'all already know, I guess we should introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Since it's our second episode. Well, my name's Daniel Alvarez for the new folks. ¿Y quién eres tú?
I am Evelyn Salazar, Peruvian by blood, American by mind.
Yeah, American raised.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. No, 100%. Okay, so one of my topics for you was how did you get started with stand-up? Like when did you decide this was your thing?
That's such a complicated question for me because I don't have a specific thing where I was like, I didn't want to be a performer. Like when people ask me that, I don't know what it was, but it was something through the pandemic. I was kind of like, I've been into photography. I've been doing paintings, but I was like, I don't know. I just feel like this isn't the thing that I'm meant to do. I kind of just had that feeling. Mm-hmm. And then I started thinking about other things that I'm into. Like one of the things I was always into as a kid was like gaming. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I don't know if I want to, be known. Gamer. Yeah, like that. I might be a little past that, But then I just had this weird realization that I've always been an entertainer that was just too scared to entertain. But like when it comes to being around my family or people that I was comfortable with, I was like,
out there.
Yeah, so through the pandemic, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try stand-up. Like, I'm just going to see it. Like, whatever. It's not going to kill me if I, trying it. And I just kind of went to an open mic and went from there,
In the pandemic, there was mics?
It was right after. So right when after. We were like 2.5 years into the pandemic. So it was kind of like starting to clear up already.
So during pandemic, you just started fucking binge watching a bunch of stand-up. And you're like, you know what? That shit, I'm going to do that shit.
Yeah.
That's it?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, because I had been like watching stand up for a while already. It wasn't like I just didn't, like get up and I was like, hey, I want to try that. Like I got into stand up from funny movies since I was like, I would say I've been watching stand up since I was like 17, 16, 17.
Okay.
So it's not just something that popped into my head randomly. What about you? Since we're in the, what was your, how did you get into the comedy?
Crazy how I actually started thinking about doing comedy. I was working for a company named HealthNet of California. Don't care. Let's put it out there. And I was, my last job with them was a teacher and developer. So I was always in a classroom setting. And I was teaching everybody from the ages 18 to age 60. So in order for them to obtain this information that I would give them, which is, I was teaching them 8 different computer skills, 8 different computer programs, plus Medi-Cal laws, so California state laws when it comes to Medicaid, plus soft skills, plus everything that has to do with the company of HealthNet, like just teaching them the background and policies and all that. So I had to figure out a way of how to get these people to learn. And the only way was through comedy. So I would make little PowerPoints with like random funny things that would come up, I would always try to like a story in the module, I would go ahead and like reinterpret it into a funny mode so that people can get it and like be like, okay, this sticks.
Yeah.
So then I traveled to Shreveport. This is where it made more sense to me. And I was like, all right, like I always would make my class laugh. I was always a class clown growing up. But when they sent me to Shreveport, era puro morenos. Like my classroom setting was just morenitos everywhere.
Black folks. It was like,
yeah. So I was like, shit, I don't know if I'm going to be funny. I got scared. But I did my thing and I did it the way I would do it always. But they were laughing and they're like, Miss Evelyn, this is Shreveport, Louisiana. Okay. This is like the South.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, Miss Evelyn, you is funny. Like you got something. You should do some acting or something. And I was like, I should do some acting.
And then
that's it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do improv.
Is there like a big Latin presence out there?
In Shreveport? Mm-hmm. No, para nada. Oh, no. It's like the South.
Oh, so you were a little like exotic to them?
Oh, I was very exotic to them. Yeah. There was just like, it's literally just like black and white, Maybe a little bit of Latinos, but I didn't see any. Really? I went to a club with them. I went out with my class. Yeah. I don't care. I don't work for the company no more.
Ooh.
We got turned.
We
went to church the next day though.
She's one of those teachers.
Yeah, I was. But yeah, that's how I got started. But I always had my father. My father is a big influence now that I think about it. Mm-hmm. My dad, he knows jokes, but he doesn't tell his own jokes. It's like, entran dos padres, entran adentro de un bar. Mm-hmm. Y, he knows them. Like, he memorizes all these jokes from all these other comedians. Mm-hmm. So, and he would always perform them at late night parties.
Nice.
Growing up. And then he would be like, Evelyn, a tu cuarto. Es hora de los chistes rojos.
That's what he would call them?
Yeah, chistes rojos. That means like sex chistes.
Really?
Yeah. I was too young for that shit, so yeah, that's where it all came from.
You get it from your dad.
I get it from my dad. My dad is a funny fucking guy, man. Yeah. He is, yeah.
Yeah, I've met a couple of people that are like that. That like they're really good at telling jokes, just the way they tell them, and I'm like, yeah. I think about it now, and I'm like, a couple of those dudes would probably be good comics, Yeah. Like I had my dad's ex-wife's brother was really funny, just the way that. I mean, some people just sound funny, and then just his voice and the way he would present the jokes was just so funny to me. And I remember even thinking back then, I was probably like, when I met him, I was probably like 17, 18. Mm-hmm. And I remember like the thought, I was like, man, I wish I was that funny,
Yeah. Like, it's just natural.
Yeah, some people just have like a presence or something.
Yeah,
and I was like,
my tío, man, he's the same way. I was just in Peru with my family, and I've got to really know my family this time around because I was there for 7 months. And my tío, he is a merchant on a bus. So he goes up to buses and entra y dice, Mira, con ustedes, señores, no quiero tomar mucho de tu tiempo. You know, he's such an actor. Like, he did the whole entire act for me. And I was like, oh my God, my uncle is a comedian actor. He just works as ambulante. So
Yeah.
it's, you know.
Well, in a way, it's like he's getting on the stage.
Yeah, he is.
It's a
Yeah,
performance, you know?
every time he's got to sell it. He's got to sell his product. He sells like health goods
Oh,
on
really?
the bus.
On the
Yeah.
bus. He's like, te sano aquí.
Sí, mira, toma esto y no más.
Yeah.
No
Have
más
you-
cáncer, no.
Have you ever seen, there's a video, a meme of this old lady, and she sells like stuff, but she has a section for like huevos para limpiar.
No.
Have you seen?
No.
She has a section that's like for it's like a special section. It's like huevos para la limpia, you know, como te limpian or whatever.
Yeah.
And then some guy's recording her, and he's like, "Y doña, ¿qué onda con esos huevos?" And she's like, esa para la gente pendeja que no ande con sus creencias. It's so funny.
Oiga, señora, vemos que ahí también tiene huevos, también son para aliviar a las personas.
Huevos también yo. Mire, esos huevos son para curar, para ser limpias.
¿Y no se pueden comer o...?
No, son para ser limpias. Creencias de gente pendeja. La mera neta, mano. ¿Sí?
A lot of people don't believe in that, and some people do. Like, we were just having a conversation where my grandma used to do that to us as a kid. Like, she lived in Mexico, so she would come visit on and off. Like, she probably only came maybe like 4 or 5 times, like, in my lifetime. So when she would come, she would do the like whole limpia to us, you know.
Claro.
And then I think like the first time she did it that I can remember, I was maybe like 6, and then I remember thinking like, this bitch is crazy. You know?
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, la limpia. So he's is that one of the things that he sells?
What?
Like your uncle?
No,
Hey,
no.
That'd be so funny. Tengo los huevos para la limpia.
No. He sells like health things like lasna, like powders, teas and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him about maybe trying stand-up? Since you're saying like
No, mi
the-
tío is he's special. Let's just put it that way. I took that fool to go see Avatar. It was his first time in a movie theater, first of all,
really
in 3D on top of it. I took him to a movie theater in 3D.
nice.
And the whole entire time, my uncle is like the typical Latino uncle that has no filter, just zero, like in the actual theater. Sobrina, tío, shh. Él es el malo, ¿no? Él. Oh, y ella lo va a matar. I'm like, shh, cállate, shh. And then I would turn to him and I would look at him and he didn't have his glasses on. And you have to have your glasses on to watch the movie. And I go, tío, ¿por qué no tienes tus lentes? Me dice, me mareo. Because no, es mucho para mí. Me mareo.
No, I could see. I kind of had a little bit of the same experience.
Yeah?
Like I was kind of like this. I think I'm getting a little dizzy. You know?
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I mean, because I like use prescription
Glasses,
glasses, so I had those glasses on top of my glasses and shit. I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I think I went to 1 or 2 3D movies, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch the regular, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm good on the 3D. That's funny though. He was like,
He's...
Don Señor.
Mira, él le va a matar, ¿no? I'm like, yes, shh, shh.
And like the movie scene is like the same as here. In
Yeah,
Peru?
yeah. They actually have better trays out there. I was like, damn, Peru.
really?
Yeah, they have bomb ass trays. They have like trays where it has 2 holders for 2 drinks and popcorn. It's
Nice. That that actually kind of ties into like one of the questions that I had written for you.
yeah.
So like there's all this stuff going on in the US and all this stuff. So I was gonna ask
The who?
in the US the who?
Huh? Us?
You were out of the country for like most of this year.
Yeah.
So as someone that's like been out living outside of the US, like what's the how are we perceived as of right now, like, you know, outside the US, or like what
Complete
was,
pendejos.
yeah? I believe it. Yeah. Well, like what was some of the things that people would say?
No,
Like,
I mean, I can only speak upon Peruvian people because that's who I was hanging out with. So anytime I would tell them, oh, you know, yo vivo en Estados Unidos. Estados Unidos. ¿Qué haces aquí? Like,
oh, really?
what are you doing here? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, estoy tratando de encontrar mi, you know, mi raza otra vez, en mi cultura. Oh, qué bueno, pero allá más dinero. I'm like, yeah, of course it's more money, but it's different lifestyle. You know, el estilo de vida is, in Peru, it's very like calm, laid back in a sense. Like everyone has like a more chill vibe, but also it's always apurada at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's weird.
It's like
and here
the vibe is chill, but like people like,
but people are
get
like,
out, you know.
but people are like, get off the bus, get out of my way, don't come in front of me, like don't, you know,
Right.
like everybody out there is so impatient, like it kills me. It kills me.
It's kind of like, that's kind of like a loaded question in a way, because we live in like LA. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, if you go to like the Northwest,
Midwest.
Midwest, like it's
Yeah.
definitely like a totally different
Yeah.
experience. Have you been like to other places aside? You said Louisiana. Have you been to other parts of it?
I've been to many parts of the US.
Yeah, so it's like, in a way, you have to kind of like compare the whole US, because like we have a very unique experience here in LA.
Yeah.
I don't have that much experience going to other states aside from like passing through Oregon, and then I lived in Washington for a few years.
And you were also just in Texas.
Oh, Texas, yeah. I've
Hey,
been to
yeah.
Austin a couple of times. For sure, it's like a different experience. So I
Yeah.
could just imagine like coming from like a smaller, you know, place,
Yeah.
and then they must see things in an interesting way.
Yeah. I mean, they were very surprised that I wanted to live in Peru. You know,
Really?
they're like, "What?
The
You
fuck,
want
did
to
you
live
came back?"
here? Yeah, you want to live here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love it here."
Yeah.
And they were very happy about that, but also at the same time questioning, like, "The fuck are you really doing here?"
Yeah, esta loca, ¿qué hiciste? You know,
yeah.
like, now, yeah, I would catch some of your like stories and stuff, and I'd be like, dude, you look mad happy out there. Like,
I was. I
like,
was. Nobody on my ass. No, nothing to do. Just be me and in my feels.
that must be like a cool experience. So to try to like go back to where you're from and kind of like connect with everything, your family and your culture more and all that. Like, that's something that I definitely have to like
Yeah.
do, because I've never been to Mexico. Like, I've been to
We gotta
like
go.
the
Let's go
border towns.
November. I'm invited. Let's go November for
What-
Dia de la Muerte.
What part of Mexico?
They are inviting me. I forget what the name. But it's a city where they have the big festival of Dia de la Muerte. Es por DF. Yeah.
Where's that? That's like in kind of central
It's
Mexico.
Central. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons that I haven't gone is because like it would kind of just be me. Like, I would just have to go by myself, kind of thing. And I've always been weird about when I
Traveling?
don't know people. Not so much traveling. I'm down to travel, especially like I hadn't traveled since my injury until I just went to Texas recently. I hadn't
Yeah.
flown. And it was so easy. Like, it was such an easy experience. I thought it was going to be more complicated.
Yeah.
So traveling is just more that I've always been kind of like, not shy, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not like, when I don't know you, I'm kind of like, me voy a quedar aquí, you know, I'm chill.
Yeah.
Like, even sometimes, I mean, I'm a lot better now. Like, actually, one of the reasons that I started doing stand-up was to try to get better at like
People skills.
being more social and being more, and I have gotten better for sure. But yeah, like sometimes I would go to like family parties and be like, I don't want to say hi to everybody. You know?
Oh, man. When you
I'm
go
that type of person.
It's hard. It's hard being Latino in a family party because everyone.
Yeah.
And
And
then
there's so many
I
of
gotta
us.
go. You were just here. I gotta go. God damn.
Now, that's something like that's something that I never really I feel like there's parts in Mexico where they do the greeting and kiss, and some places they don't.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we have to.
And
That's
that's a Peruvian
It's the
thing.
whole thing.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've met like it's kind of like 50-50.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like half of the Latinos, at least from Mexico that I know, they do the whole, when they greet you, they give you a kiss, and then half is kind of like just hi.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like the whole-
it's like they teach this to you, 6 years old, 5 years old, you're saludando con
Yeah.
un beso,
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, for sure. We'll give you shit for not saludar, for sure.
Yeah.
That I think is
Yeah.
universal. Like, mira esta pinche creída que no dice hola. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that.
That's a good question. I mean, we can keep on talking about that, but yeah, I mean, I think that overall, anytime you say you're from the U.S. in any part of a South American country, it's like, oh, that's money.
Yeah.
You know?
They associate it with
They
like
associate-
wealth and
Yeah, so that's why I didn't like telling people I was from the U.S. I didn't, unless I had to. So,
do you feel like people could tell you're from?
they could
Or
tell
you
there
were
was
raised
they could tell there was a different accent in my Spanish. So hablo español, pero obviamente que se puede escuchar un poquito diferente a lo que es peruano. Like Peruvian is like, oof.
You know what's funny, that I have an accent too, but I don't hear it because I was,
Yeah.
But when I moved to Washington, that's when I realized I had an accent.
You're like, oh,
Like, I had
shit.
a California Latino accent.
Yeah.
Because some like the kids would be like, why do you sound like that?
Yeah.
And then you know what's fucked up? That movie Napoleon Dynamite had
Yeah.
just come out. So they were like, why do you sound like Pedro? And I'd be like, fuck you, bro. But it also worked in my favor
Also, why
because
do
I
you
was
look
different.
like Pedro?
Yeah, dude, I'd be like, bitch, I swear to God, we gonna fight if you say.
I love
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite. It
But
has
it-
a Tina Llama.
Oh yeah, Tina.
Tina, come eat your food.
Nah, I like the uncle, bro. The uncle that's like the loser that thinks he's cool. And shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to be able to throw this football 60 yards. Yeah, but I stood out because I was one of the only Latinos too, so
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad. But they would like give me shit for that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck you guys.
What was my other question for you?
Here's your
A ver.
your topics.
My topic, my other. Oh, so what does your Latino family think? Like, how, like now that you're doing comedy, when you tell them,
Yeah.
hey, what are you doing? Comedia. What do they say?
Well, I like to say that I'm a late bloomer because I honestly, dude, I've never really accomplished anything in my life. Like, if I didn't finish almost anything. So like they're like they see me doing stuff and I'm like doing good and getting shows. So they're like, hell yeah, we're all, you know.
They're
So they're
supportive.
super supportive about it. They're like, you're gonna be famous, bro.
Aw.
I'm like, well, we'll see. We'll find out, you know.
Yeah.
But
love that.
but overall, I'm sure like everybody's like I just did like the Spanglish show with Paul Rodriguez. Like he's a fucking LA like Latino comic just and not even just in stand up. It's just like he's a Latin like legend, you know. He's been in the game for such a long time, so that's like a big deal. So it's kind of like cool, you know. They're like, damn, like we're
You're
proud
getting
of you,
up
you
there.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So you have support.
Yeah, for sure. They're
Amazing.
They're why? How does your family feel about that?
Which- No, so I think just like my mother and my dad, they're both huge supporters of me in whatever I do. They are my number one fans. Now, do they want me to do this necessarily? Nah. They don't want this, but they'll support it. They would rather me pick up a course in UCLA and get my my degree and an MBA and all these other fucking whatever, diplomas that they think is gonna help me be a better person. And I'm like, dude, I try to explain to them, like, you don't understand, nowadays in this world, like half of the people that I know that have degrees, BAs, they're not doing shit with it.
Yeah,
they're working at a fucking nail shop. They're like doing secretarial work. It's just a basic paper. It's really about your hustle. Entrepreneuring, just hustle.
I mean, like it's like understandable where it comes from. They just want you to be secure and have
because they have that
a
old school
future.
mentality.
Yeah, for sure. I think Jim Carrey has this speech that he gives about his dad. I don't know if you ever heard it, where like his dad, he feels like his dad would have been a great comedian, but he just chose the path of like, I think engineer. I forget what it was, but it was something where he had like a base, but then when he was like older, he got laid off. And then they basically had to like went poor basically, right? Shit. So like the general point of it is like you could pick the safe route and then still fail, so you might as well do something that you love, Yeah. Because that failure can still happen regardless of it, regardless of what it is, Yeah. Like I this has nothing to do with that story, but I've seen documentaries about like Skid Row in downtown, and I saw this story of a doctor. He was a brain surgeon. So basically this guy had everything. And but he committed like the only sin in medicine is that you're not supposed to work on your family. You're not supposed to like operate it because your emotions are involved, right? Yeah. And I think the stories, he operated on his son, and his son died, and then his life just fucking fell apart from that. So it's like he had, he was a fucking brain surgeon, doctor.
Yeah, and now he's living on Skid Row?
On Skid Row, yeah. Like he had like, so that's like, you might as well do what you love to do, because the risk of failure is always there,
100%. I had asked somebody a long time ago, an old friend of mine, literally an old friend. He's like, probably now in his late 70s. And I had asked him, I go, at your age, what do you regret in your life? And he said, the only thing I regret is not trying. That's it. He's like, I don't care about failing, but at least I gave it my all.
Yeah.
And I knew that I did it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that's little life lesson.
Yeah, they actually, I've also seen this, I mean, I don't know if it was a TikTok or something, but they just asked a bunch of older people, like, you know, really old people, what some of their, and it was just, a lot of them was that, like, not trying or not, like, kind of like doing what they feel like they really wanted to do.
Yeah.
That was a lot of their regrets.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
or not talking to that person that they,
That they could
it
have
was
talked
like
to.
those three. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
like those three things.
Taking that chance, that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. That's, it's big. I feel like we're on the right path, though, you know? We're at least trying.
Yeah.
We're putting in the effort.
Yeah, we could be, you know, on Skid Row, fucking, you know, on drugs or something, you know. At least we're.
Maybe on drugs, but not on Skid Row.
What I tell myself is like, there's a few comics that started really late and got successful.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like, I still got time.
Yeah, there's always time. And plus, at the end of the day, you really do it because you have the love for it. So as long as you have the love for it and you're not, you know, I don't know, like it has to just be organic. I feel like that will nacer. It will happen.
Well, and then one of the other things, one of the other things is that I feel like I have a lot more life experience that I can bank on now in my career than starting younger.
Before.
So that's another, I feel like, a minor advantage. I feel hopefully it doesn't change the setting so much.
Oh shit.
One of the batteries died.
Oh damn.
Should we do one more question?
Yeah.
Favorite childhood memory
The
or
scariest.
the scariest experience you've had in your life?
That's recent for me.
Oh yeah, you had
I had a really scary experience.
shoot. What's your? I think mine is
Get
obvious,
ready.
but
I did ayahuasca.
oh yeah, we've never you. I knew you were gonna do it,
Bro.
but you didn't.
I have done a lot of things in my life. I've messed around with a lot of substance. I can't even say that this is a substance because it's a medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You treat it like a medicine. It's not like I want to do ayahuasca just to feel what it feels like. No, like you got to go in there with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I took it as like a religious situation. I didn't eat. Well, I'm already plant-based. So, you know, the lifestyle for eating is like you can't have any meats or any animal products for like a week ahead and a week after. You also have to not have any like sexual intercourses or sexual anything for a week in advance and a week after. And then obviously set your intention. So I did all these things, you know, I was just like, whatever, this is easy, piece of cake. But I didn't ever expect to feel the way I felt doing it. Like I thought it was going to be like a shroom trip, but like super advanced. It was beyond that. Like I wasn't coherent for probably 3 hours. Like, I don't know what was going on within the 3 hours. I was sitting down, but I don't remember ever opening my eyes. You know what I mean? I just remember seeing so many images going through my head because DMT is just going fucking through your veins, through everything. And it's the scariest thing. I remember when I finally found consciousness, when I was like, oh shit, I'm somewhere, I'm here, okay. People are here, and I was like, I did this.
You're like, yeah, am I still
I was
alive?
like, am I still fucking alive? And I went like this. Okay, we're breathing. Because I didn't eat or drink 24 hours in advance. The teacher, the healer, was like, we're going to do ayunos, you know, where we ayunar and we give it to God and we say, hey, this is our sacrifice for the day. Please help us through this journey to cleanse our bodies and our minds and our souls. So we did that. And when I finally got conscious, I was like, where the fuck is my water? And I couldn't see shit.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like going like this, moving my shit around and like trying to see, because you do it in the dark on top of it. I'm in the jungle, in the Amazon jungle, the fucking dark, with people that I don't know around me. Like people are throwing up, puking, pissing themselves, you know, like it's wild. And then I finally found the water and I was like, oh my God, does everybody know about water? And there's a couple funny moments during my ayahuasca trip. I was like, bro, I'm so fucking funny. I don't think these people know.
You were having conversations.
I was having a conversation with myself at that point. I was like, you know, do people know I get on stage? Like,
that's funny.
Yeah.
You had like a realization or something in that moment, like.
Yeah.
It's so funny you say that. I'll tell you right now. But so like, what
That was
aspect? Like, where
what
was
was
the fear? Where was the fear from?
There was a fear of dying, so I felt like I was like on the verge of death because I didn't know if I was breathing or not, and I have asthma. If you guys can kind of hear my cough, I'm getting through this asthma shit. And they use cigarettes to cleanse. So asthma and cigarettes just don't go hand in hand, you know? So I was struggling through that. I also, when I couldn't find water, and that took me a minute, I had a panic because I go, I haven't had water in 24 hours.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going to happen to me? Like, you know, your mind starts playing games on you. You're like, you're going to die.
Yeah.
And then the little voice came in and was like, your body is made of 70% water. We don't need it. I was like, oh, sick. All right, you're right. So there was this moments of panic where I wasn't sure where I was. I wasn't sure when it was going to end because there's also a point where just like, will you please, can I just close my eyes and not see anything for a minute, please? For the love of God, I'm done. I don't want to see no fucking butterflies. I'm good with you. Like,
I've had that moment with shrooms. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn, I still got fucking 4 more hours of this shit.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
one of those, like, is it done? We've been at this for 3 hours. Come on.
Yeah.
You know? So, that was really, for me, it was just very scary. I don't usually sweat. Like, even right now, it's hot in here. I'm not sweating, but I had sweat so much,
Really?
just like profusely, just everywhere in my body.
Well, it's kind of like a toxin, no?
It is,
It is.
yeah.
So your body's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you're supposed to throw up. I didn't throw up.
Yeah. That's what. I have a friend that's in a chair and she's told me about it. She's like, we should try it. And I'm like, bro, we have a hard time throwing up, bro. Like, what you mean?
Yeah, no, but you don't have to. I didn't throw up. I did ayahuasca 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. The first one was the craziest, but
So the fear, was it kind of like a realization of your mortality? Like, what do you
it
think
was,
the fear?
The fear was just like,
I could die.
I could, yeah. Like, did I just die? And am I still really here? Are these people real? There was also like moments of embarrassment. Like, I've never felt this emotion of embarrassment take over. Like, I've been embarrassed before. I've had embarrassing moments where I'm like, oh, I wish that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But the overwhelming feeling of embarrassment, I wanted to die. You know what I mean?
But when like a shame,
Like a
type of
shame.
embarrassment?
Like a shame. I was ashamed. So this girl, this bitch came up to me during the ayahuasca trip and she whispered in my ear and she goes, sister, you're being really loud and disturbing everybody.
Oh, really?
And I'm tripping fucking balls. Like, I'm,
Yeah,
another dimension. And in that moment when she said that, I was so ashamed of myself. I was like, am I being loud? What am I doing? Like, am I making noises? I don't even know what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
And as she was walking away, like, I held my hand to her and I was like, hey, I love you. Thank you for telling me. Instead of like being upset with her or like saying, you know? And then I like got back into my little cocoon and I was like, wait a minute. Why do I feel so ashamed? I'm so ashamed right now. Like, I could die. I would want to die. And then the other little voices would come in. It's like, but she hasn't talked to everybody. Why are we listening to her?
Yeah.
Who is she? You know, like, so yeah, I think that it was just it was the scariest moment because.
What about the part of like, you said you weren't cohering for a few hours?
I wasn't coherent.
Like, was that, because
I don't know what the fuck happened. I could have been walking around, dancing around. I could have been fucking rolling on the floor. Like, I could have been kicking and screaming and I don't know.
Yeah, that aspect I understand because like I stopped drinking for like over a year one time because I got blackout drunk and I did something that I normally wouldn't do.
Got your dick?
And
balls?
Nah, didn't do that. It was close though. But that feeling of like not remembering anything and just like they told me everything and it was cool. Like, it wasn't a bad thing, but it had potential to be. So like, I mean, I've said this story before, but so what happened was, like, I got a big ass bottle of Fireball. And then me and a friend, that we had shot a bunch of times already. Like, she was my homegirl. We had kicked it. Like, she had spent the night. But it was just like a friendship. We were just so fucking tired that a couple of times she just spent the night, but it was never anything. Like we never like even kissed anything. It wasn't like we were both just friends. Bro, I got fucking wasted, and yeah, shit went down, you know. And then just that feeling of not remember anything. Nah. This was fucking like a few years ago. I wasn't even shooting baby mama days yet. So that experience of like not remembering anything, and then I found out after the fact that she had always like been into me, so she was like, I'm with it, bro. But it was like in my head I was like, what if that had been somebody else? What if it had been just some chick that wasn't into me? And you know, that thought, so I was like, fuck, that's a scary ass shit, you know, like blacking out.
You sound like a little bitch.
That what?
You sound like a little bitch.
Hey, that shit was wild, bro.
He has feelings. I love it.
That shit, that shit fucked me up. Like just that thought of like, damn, like not having control.
Yeah.
That was like, what the fuck?
There you go. That was exactly what happened in ayahuasca. I lost 100% control of my body.
Yeah, that's a crazy
100% where I don't know what I was doing. So my neighbor told me later that I would constantly just say, it's okay. And then I would hug the air.
Really?
I would just go, it's okay.
You're just forgiving people?
That's okay. That's okay. We're okay. Yeah. Everything's okay. And I would just hug. Yeah.
But I could see how that aspect of it, of like just fucking going somewhere and doing shit and not knowing or remembering what happened.
Yeah.
That, like, for me, I was like, damn, maybe I need to stop drinking, yo. Like, this fireball shit might not be for me, you know? And I literally stopped drinking for like over a year, I think, from that experience.
That will do it.
Yeah.
That will do it.
So that feeling of I could see how.
Yeah. The feeling of losing complete control and you don't know what happened. Mm-hmm. That was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm always in control, and that makes a lot of sense because I'm working on not being as controlling, but I like being in control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like with people, but like with myself. I'm like, give myself some ease. It's okay. I don't have to always get everything done on the checklist. I don't always have to, you know, I always push myself to a limit where I burn out. And then because I'm so much in control, instead of just kind of laying back sometimes, being like, all right, you know what, today we're just going to chill. Not gonna do shit.
So you like, it gets in your head a little bit, or like it's something?
Yeah.
What's one more thing you're thinking about for sure? Like, I have to be in control, you know?
No, I mean, I guess it's just a personality trait. You just, you know, you like to make sure, like, I'm always been the one to take care of everybody. If everybody around me is getting fucked up, I'm like, all right, cool. I got it. You need water? What do you need? You need food? Fuck, you gonna throw up? All right, hold on, let's go. You know? And so I'm in control.
I kind of stay that, like, I'm that person, but because now I'm like, I don't want to get fucked up. Like, I don't, I'll drink a little bit and get a buzz, but I'm not gonna fucking, you know? I'm like, I'm good off that, bro. So I tended to be like, you good? Like, I have like fucking... I've babysat people before.
Oh, like, yeah. I've always been a babysitter. Yeah. It's my nature, though. You know?
You're...
I'm a...
Yo te cuido.
Yeah, I'm just that. I have 0 children, but 50 children at the same time.
Some friends are like your children. But...
De verdad que sí. Friends, brother.
Well, I mean, there's experience, too, of, like... women, like when like you guys are out and stuff, you kind of have to be more aware of what's going on and stuff. Then so you always need someone that's like, get drunk, bitches, I got you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I say that respectfully.
Respectfully.
I have 6 sisters, so like they throw out bitch like nothing, you know?
Oh,
so, like,
100%. You can call me bitch, no problem. As long as I'm a badass bitch.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we had to...
Let's see. I mean, we had 2 more questions left.
I think this is a nice little intro for ourselves, you know?
Yeah. We trying, guys.
We do
like, and if you guys have questions for us, want to
submit. I'm gonna start an email where we can check emails and get submissions of things. Please don't ask me to send nudes unless you pay me.
Yeah,
I'll send you his nudes.
I'll send them, bro. I ain't got nothing to have. Yes.
Okay. So I think we can save the other 2 for the next podcast.
You want to do one
last
quick,
one?
How about
favorite childhood memory?
One of your what was one of your favorite childhood memories?
You go first. I went first on the last one. I gotta think.
Mine, I kind of mentioned a little bit. So when I was a kid, I was maybe like 4 or 5 years old. My dad one time he bought the first Nintendo, the NES, and then we got home and system, baby.
Yay.
And then like what I was thinking about this not that long ago, and what I realized is that shit turned into like a big ass outlet for me. Like that was like my safe space. So I'm just getting that Nintendo, and just remember having that feeling, oh, hell yeah, bro, I got a Nintendo, you know.
Damn.
And it kind of like built this, like, I don't know about lifelong love for gaming, but I like to this day I'll fucking jump on, you know, whatever, like if I'm with my nephews or whatever,
Yeah, you're like,
my
I'll fuck
kids.
you up, bitch.
Yeah, so
I don't
like,
care if you're 6 years old. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, so I like that was one of the that I can remember off the top, was just that like, oh hell yeah, bro, I got a Nintendo, you know. just being super happy about that.
That's a good one. Okay, now that you gave me a little bit of time, I thought about it. I think one of my favorite childhood memories was winning a dance competition. And that made my mom and dad so happy, so proud of me. My dad made shirts. So I used to do Afro-Peruvian dancing growing up, very cultural shit. And I won second place on my first competition ever, and I was a tie. So it was a tie.
Nice.
Yeah, I was tying for first, and my dad was so proud, man. Just like carrying me, saying, "This is my daughter, number 2. That's okay. We're gonna get them next year, number 1." You know, like that feeling of just making them proud was like, oh man, this is what I got to do.
Yeah,
this is the shit that I like. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I think we like, as a child of your parents, like that's what you want, you know, like you want to do something that makes them proud of you or whatever, you know.
But some children, and I was some of those children sometimes, I would make them very unproud. I would do shit that I was like, oh, my dad is not gonna be proud of this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just I feel like that's just a part of being a human and learning, you know. Obviously, I think we all have shit that we're not proud of, you know? Like, I could think of some specific shit. It's funny. I did a podcast with another comic, and I was talking about when I got shot, and so I was dying when I got shot. Like, I was legitimately dying, I got that like flashback. You know how they say you get a flash? Yeah. Mine was all the dumb shit that I had ever done, bro. So like I was like, I've done some dumbass shit in my life.
You're like, damn, put me out. You're like, right.
Literally, I told my sister when I thought I was dying, I was like, this is literally what I said. I said, yo, tell everybody I'm sorry for all the dumb shit that I did in my life. Like, that's how much I was just like, que pendejo, you know? Like, that's some dumbass shit. So I think that's just part of the human experience, you know?
Yeah.
Just feeling like, you know, my parents will not be proud of this moment.
Yeah.
Hey, but we're not serial killers or like some shit like that. So
yeah.
Unless you're out here killing people, that's
no, I'm not out here killing nobody.
Chopping people up and shit.
Nah, just killing those mics.
Damn, that's what we get. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel,
please.
We're gonna try to give you guys videos at least once a week. That's the goal. If we don't meet that, give us shit for it, you know. Like, keep us on this shit, because we want to bring you guys a lot of the cool stuff we're doing, you know. Like, have you ever had that realization that like we do some cool ass shit
all the time?
I was just talking to somebody, and I was like the stuff that we're doing is cool, you know? Like,
man,
it's dope.
We cool people.
Hey, we out here trying. Catch the show, subscribe,
like, hit comment.
Yeah, say something. ¿Qué quieren ver? ¿Qué quieren oír?
Yeah.
Or if you guys if bookings, we're always available. We are available.
Yes.
Sponsors.
Hey, sponsor us. Hope we get sponsored by tacos.
Hell yeah, I'm down for some tacos. Tacos, shout out.
Okay. Well, the Latin feels. Thank you guys. Ahí estamos. We'll talk soon.
Hasta luego.
Ciao.
Y se acabó la cosa. That's it. That's the end of the show. We'll catch another episode with Tiny and the Man on Wheels.